liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from me, and he shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. People, liberal people. They had a very bad original concept. It was carried out poorly, and the cover-up was one of the worst in the history of cover-ups. Very simple. Bad deal, should have never been thought of. Somebody really messed up, and they had the worst cover-up ever. And where it should have stopped is at the deal standpoint when they thought about it, because whoever thought of that idea is in big trouble.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa. Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
I'll kiss every guy, man and woman, man and woman. Look at that guy, how handsome he is. I'll kiss him. And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup for my family. They're so innocent. This is soup for my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Pokemon Go, but I try to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
All of a sudden we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
Hello, users, and welcome to another show. This is the Above It All broadcast, emphasis on broad, coming back. It is here. It is time to do a show. We got a show going on. That noise really did excite Max the dog. He is woofing it up right now. As you can see, my hair is a little disheveled. I am disheveled at this current moment in time, and I'm here to do a show. And I'm here to do a show. So today's show is the Sunday show for Sunday. Today is Sunday. Get out of the church and on to YouTube.com with this episode of Above It All. And so we got a show going on today, a program, and it's a program. It's a programmed experience. It's an experiential program. It's an experimental program when you really think about it. And so we're really experimenting with our experiences on this show, and it's kind of exciting. It's an exciting experience to be here for. So we got a show lined up for today. If anyone is wondering on my mouth situation, I got like a mouth thing. Are there any dentists in here? Huh? Huh? I don't know. But my mouth seems to be doing a lot better than yesterday. So I took a nap yesterday. I was like, oh. But we're living life today. We're living life. And so we're living life. And so today, part 1, live. Part 2, survive. And so... Did you really flunk out of dental school? Because if so, you might have some information. Anyway, yeah, so we got a show going on. There's a show going on today. Today is Sunday, and today's Sunday. So on the Sunday, on Sunday we do a show. Westworld tonight, folks. Anyone gonna watch Westworld tonight? I'm excited. I'm gonna watch some Westworld tonight. Better Call Saul tomorrow. More excited for Better Call Saul. I should floss more. I only floss every once in a while. Whenever I run out of floss, it takes me a while to buy new ones. I don't know, but I brush my teeth like 2 or 3 times a day because I'm a little eccentric. Please talk more about how this is a show and a program and an experience and an experiment. I will talk more about that, but first, is there anyone in here that has a low IQ? And if so, you're gonna have to fill out this survey. If you haven't filled out the survey yet, you just got to. I mean, there's no choice. You don't really have a choice. If you don't fill out the survey, you'll be banned forever. And I don't know what to tell you. So my chair's got this weird, like, Max the dog like bumps into my chair and like puts the lock in place. Okay. Woo! All right. Do the survey. If you haven't done the survey, then I'll be very upset with you. Big news in the world of me and my personal hobbies. Big news. You are watching the world record holder for the video game Gubble. Check this out. Yesterday, I was streaming some Gubble, and I got the world record. I'm now once again the best player on the planet Earth for this game on the Sony PlayStation. The best player on planet Earth. Let's bang these tunes up. Yep, Gubble, folks. Let me tell you. What a world. What a video game. If anyone was there to see it, you are of the lucky few. Of the lucky few. You might be wondering. That music sounds familiar, of course. Gubble is the video game where my introductory sequence is pulled from. So, there you go. This is Gubble, an action puzzle game, fun for the whole family. Check out my world record. It's really good. It's also got a lot of banging tunes. So, check that out if you haven't. And there you go. Let's drink some more coffee here. So now, once again, that I am the world record holder in Gubble, I can very safely and confidently steal its music for my political show. You know, it's kind of, I have to be otherwise, if I'm not the world record holder and I'm stealing the music for my political show, I mean, let's be honest, it's kind of embarrassing, right? So now we finally get that back. So now we can get back into, you know, shamelessly ripping off other people's intellectual property. But anyway, we got a show going on today. For today, we have a program. I've got some news lined up for this show today. I've got some news on this program. I don't know where to start with the news. I really don't. So, I'm just gonna start. Let's start with the biggest news story of the day, the best news story of the day. This is stuff that's just, you know, it's just really good. So the right wing in this country, they're pro-life. They love babies and they hate genocide. And so now we got a lot of unwanted babies hanging out in the world. So the right wing has an idea. All right, so they acknowledge, all right, the lefties got a point. We're going to have a lot more babies. We got to do something about it. So what does the right come up with? Well, check it out. Dropbox for babies. Conservatives promote ways to give up newborns anonymously. The safe haven baby box at a firehouse in Carmel, Indiana, looked like a library book drop. It has been widely available for 3 years for anyone who wanted to surrender a baby anonymously. No one ever used it, though, until early April when its alarm went off. Victor Anders, a firefighter, opened the box and found to his disbelief a newborn boy wrapped in towels. The discovery made the local TV news, which praised the courage of the mother, calling it a time for celebration. Later that month, Anders pulled another newborn, a girl, from a box. Who cares what the fucking gender is? Come on now. In May, a third baby appeared. By summer, 3 more infants were left at baby box locations throughout the state. Y'all? Now, again, I just want to say, I fully support parents getting rid of their children. I fully support that. If you are a parent, if you have a child in your life and you are not a good influence on that child, I fully support you being able to give up that child. I also fully support funding orphanages, foster programs. A lot of the time, foster programs are abusive. They abuse children, foster parents, and there's a lot of great adoptive parents. I'm not trying to attack everybody, but we really need to continue to fund these services so that abusers are rooted out of the system. As someone that was an accident and raised by people who didn't really give a fuck or care enough to actually learn anything about raising a child, I would have much rather been raised in an environment of loving and caring parents. But I was not, and now look at the result. Right? Am I right, people? So, but this is the thing, is we're not funding these institutions. We are not funding adoptive parents being able to be more ruthlessly checked. We're not funding the ability. You know how much money it costs to adopt a child? It costs a lot of money. I don't know why. It costs a lot of money. If you're poor, you can have 5 kids. If you're poor, you can't adopt 1 kid. It's a little weird. But anyway, there's a lot of problems with our society, and having a bunch of more kids entering the mix certainly is not going to be a good solution. Let's keep reading this article. I'm reading this from Baltimore Sun, by the way. The baby boxes are part of the safe haven movement, which has long been closely tied to anti-abortion activism. Safe havens offer desperate mothers a way to surrender their newborns anonymously for adoption, and advocates say avoid hurting, abandoning, or even killing them. The havens can be boxes, which allow parents to avoid speaking to anyone or even being seen when surrendering their babies. More traditionally, the havens are located the havens are locations such as hospitals and fire stations, where staff members are trained to accept a face-to-face handoff from a parent in crisis. All 50 states have safe haven laws meant to protect surrendering mothers from criminal charges. The first, known as the Baby Moses Law, was passed in Texas in 1999, blah, blah, blah. So the key point here is that these places existed for a long time, but they were literally unused. As it says in this instance, no one ever used it until Roe v. Wade was leaked to be thrown in the garbage, right? Until this recent wave of anti-abortion activism, this recent wave of the political party known as the Republican Party demanding that women and anyone with a uterus must become a second-class citizen. Until this wave, these things were not used. They were just like, okay, a just-in-case scenario. It's good to see it, but no one ever uses it. Now, all of a sudden, there's babies flowing through. You open up the baby drop box, dump the baby down the hole, it lands on another baby, right? This is a little ridiculous, okay? Now, again, I do think that parents should have the right to give up their children. I really do. I think at any time, like if you are being raised by parents and they're abusive, right, and you want to leave, you should be allowed to do so. If parents know that they would be abusive, or let's say a mother is in a relationship with an abusive partner, or, whatever, it doesn't matter the situation. There's an abusive partner and they want to, make sure that the baby is safe and, they can't get out of the relationship for whatever reason, right? These should all be things that are capable of being done. But the problem is, adoption care and services are completely underfunded, and it's a huge problem. So you give up the baby and then they're thrown into another abusive scenario, and that doesn't really help, right? And so that's the problem with the way our society is orchestrated, is we have too many babies, not enough people that are willing to raise babies, and that creates an entire group, an entire class of each upcoming generation that is unwanted. They feel unwanted, and they never feel like they belong. And that's a bad deal. That's a bad fucking deal, right? And again, now that Roe v. Wade is gone, so Indiana has just passed another abortion ban legislation, right? It's going to get a lot worse. And so, but again, conservatives have an idea. Just have a drop box in front of the local fire station, and that'll solve all the problems, right? Well, until it comes to actually raising the child, right? Because, as we know, they don't care about kids. They don't care about health outcomes. They don't care about abusing children. They only care about making sure the kid gets out of the second-class citizen and or slave. Again, the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution outlaws forced labor. What do we refer to it as when someone is giving birth? We call it labor, going into labor. If you are forcing someone to go into labor, that is forced labor. Therefore, it violates the 13th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. But, whatever. Once again, anyone with a uterus, you are a second-class citizen. You do not have the same, slate of rights as everyone else in this country. You are a second-class citizen, right? Gay or trans, you are a third-class citizen, right? If you are white, you are a first-class citizen. Unless you're gay, unless you're a woman, unless, you're transgender, then you're a second or third-class citizen, right? Or maybe you're Jewish, then you're also another second-class citizen. Maybe you're Muslim, white Muslims, they exist, right? Again, if you're white and straight, okay. If you're white, straight, and cisgender, all right, and Christian, then you are you're the typical beautiful American. You're the Anglo-Saxon wonderful American. You go to church every day. You're a beautiful person. And everyone else, though, well, fuck your rights, because this is America, baby. Anyway, we have a show going on. Today's program is brought to you by this fucking survey. Fill out the fucking survey. I don't know how many fucking times I need to tell y'all to fill out the motherfucking survey. Fill out the motherfucking survey. Fill out the motherfucking survey. It's a survey. It's motherfucking. It's a motherfucking survey. Fill it out right now. If you haven't done so, I will be very upset. I want to run this survey for a week. I think I started running it on like Thursday or something. So I want to run this survey for a week and then make my decision on the core question. And I also like getting information out of it, I like what people, I like hearing what people have to say. Where is the survey? The pinned fucking chat message at the top of the fucking screen. The pinned fucking chat message. What, did you just like X that out? Ah, who cares? And then you're like, oh, where's the survey? Refresh the page. Anyway, what should I go into next? Huh? I don't see it. Well, I think you're lying. Personally, I think you're lying, but I'll send you a link in the chat. I'm pretty sure you're lying. I know, in fact, I'm 100% certain that you're lying, but here's another link. I'm good on filters, Daniel, don't worry. All right. Right-wingers, folks. They're they're beautiful people. Don't you feel safe when you're at a church? Don't you feel safe when you're at a Trump rally? I go to a Trump rally and I'm like, damn, I have never felt safer. Because this is the party of law and order. They love law and they love order. And they're beautiful people and they love every other American. And they're great to be around. Right? Wrong. So here's another example. Michigan man charged with setting fire to Planned Parenthood building. Oh, great. All right, let's read. This is a couple days ago. Federal prosecutors have charged a 25-year-old man who allegedly set fire to a Planned Parenthood building in Michigan. Joshua Brereton of Paw Paw, Michigan, was charged with one count of arson of an organization receiving federal funding. If convicted, Brereton faces up to 20 years in prison, according to the Justice Department. The charge also carries a 5-year mandatory minimum sentencing. According to court documents, law enforcement responded to a reported fire at Kalamazoo Planned Parenthood in late July. After the fire was extinguished, the local fire marshal noticed the fires were ignited from two separate sources, in the bushes outside the building and from a fire starter log that looked like it had been thrown onto the roof. Through the Planned Parenthood surveillance footage, investigators determined that the person who started the fire used a Duraflame log to start the fire on the roof, court documents say. They then searched store records and learned that Brereton had bought a Duraflame log at a local Walmart less than 2 hours before the fire. Folks, just a hot tip, if you're going to commit a crime, don't be like this guy. you know, Jesus Christ, like, this is embarrassing. Brereton's appearance at the store's security camera footage matched that of the Planned Parenthood court documents say. Investigators say they also located Brereton's YouTube channel where he posted videos railing against the government, taxes, and abortion. Oh, great. We have a very sane individual here, totally not a nutcase. Like, right now, we have a genocide happening, Brereton says in one video, according to court documents, genocide of babies! And people think this is always a hot topic. You literally have neighbors who think it's okay to kill a baby. So it's not okay to kill a baby, but it's okay to kill people that work at Planned Parenthood. It's okay to destroy their jobs and livelihood. And also, okay, it's genocide. But again, you know, the hypocrisy doesn't matter. Oh, it's genocide, but what about masturbation? Oh, it's genocide. What about miscarriages? Oh, it's genocide. What about just like when you fuck and then just nothing happens, right? You ever meet these people that like, oh, we're trying to have a baby. They're fucking like 4 times a day and then nothing happens, right? Like, I don't know, man. They're trying. Is it genocide when the sperm doesn't fucking win? I don't know. It's almost like all of this shit is made up. It's almost like these people have been programmed by stupid politicians. Almost like that. Anyway, so this guy's burning down Planned Parenthoods, and this is a thing that's been happening in this country for a very long time. This is not a unique thing. This has been happening for decades, but it's only going to get worse because you have a bunch of people, churches, religion, you know, again, Republicans, you know, political politicians, right? People just lying to people and filling their head with garbage, right? Now, again, if you are able to believe in God, if you're able to believe that there's a magical fairy that exists and they made everything in the world and they still, like, look over us or whatever, and, like, God has a plan and all that shit, if you are capable of believing such stupid fucking garbage, of course you're capable of believing that life starts at conception and that a zygote is actually the same thing as, like, a 38-year-old. Of course, you believe in magical thinking. You're a fucking idiot, right? And so, again, when we've got a country where 81% of people believe in God, we have a fucking problem. 81% of people in this country are susceptible to believing in shit that's totally made up, right? And if you can convince 81% of Americans to believe in a sky fairy, you can convince 81% of Americans to believe in anything. You can convince them to believe that fucking meat is good for them. You can convince them to believe that, like, processed food at the grocery store is good for them. You can convince them to believe that, like, fucking, you know, soda pop isn't that bad. You can convince them to believe that, you know, Democrats are actually a political party that's willing to combat Republican fascism. You can convince them to believe that Medicare for all is actually bad. You can convince them to believe that there's nothing we can do about coronavirus. If you can believe in God, you are already at the lowest fucking barometer for stupid fucking motherfucker, all right? And if you can believe in God, you can believe anything, no matter how far-fetched it is, no matter how made up it sounds, you'll believe it because you're American, and you love God, and you love being a fucking idiot. Now, I know, I turn everything into an anti-God thing, but seriously, you need to understand the through line in magical thinking. It's magical fucking thinking. Is it a surprise that one of the most religious countries on earth with the stupidest fucking kinds of religion is the country that did the least to combat coronavirus? The people that have these fucking prayer circles, and then they're all getting in the circle to pray, and then as they're praying, they're infecting one another. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, anyway, stupid fucking country that produces stupid fucking people. But again, we're only treating the symptoms. We're not treating the core disease here. And the core disease is religion, fascism, and just Christianity, right? Like, just corruption in politics. That's the core disease here, and we are not treating it. Oh no, someone burned down a Planned Parenthood. Let's just give that guy some charges. It's like the January 6th stuff. Oh, all the people who planned it, they're fine. The president who planned it, they're fine. Rudy Giuliani, he's fine. Everyone's fine. Everyone who was the architect of January 6th, they're all great, wonderful people. But, you know, we're going to pick off some of the people that actually did the dirty work. Right, again, treating the symptom and not the disease. This is a stupid fucking country. I'm going to turn my AC on. Sinkwell, atheism doesn't necessarily mean you're, like, against believing in magical stuff, right? Like, that's the thing. It's like, I learned that at a young age where it's like, okay, I'm an atheist. I think atheists are cool. They've cracked the code. They've solved the riddle, right? Turns out a lot of atheists also believe in fairy tales. They also believe in faith-based thinking, right? So conservative atheists, right, they believe in the invisible hand. Woo! The invisible hand, the free market. Woo! Right? That's the same thing as believing in God. It's the same fucking shit. Just as dumb, just as stupid, just as fucking devoid of any fucking evidence whatsoever. I've met atheists that believe we live in a simulation. Here's the thing about simulation theory. Simulation theory is actually not falsifiable, right? Like the Christian God, you can disprove the Christian God in like 2 sentences, right? The invisible hand, you can disprove the invisible hand in like fucking 3 words, okay? Simulation theory technically is an unfalsifiable hypothesis. You cannot actually say we don't live in a simulation. You can verifiably prove that the Christian God is fake, that the Jewish God is fake, that Allah, whatever, you can verifiably prove that these gods are fake, right? But you cannot verifiably prove that we don't live in a simulation. So I'm fine with people that believe that we live in a simulation. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to ponder. It's all good, right? But, you know, again, the God thing, I mean, I just can't with that. If you're like one of those deists and you believe that, you know, oh, I'm an agnostic deist, you know, there might be a God and I don't know, whatever, like, I have less of a problem with you. But if you actually believe in any of these, like, oh, I talk to God every night, I pray to God or whatever, you're a fucking weirdo. You're a freak, okay? Woo! The invisible hand! Whoa! Fucking stupid ass garbage. Has anyone actually used the July 17 emoji on July 17? I didn't even know that was an emoji. So I'm learning. What's happening with the vote? I don't know what you're talking about, Saul. What vote? Like an election? Like, what do you mean? Survey vote? I'm just using it for my own personal information. It'll help me better, like, use, you know, stuff for the stream. Tailor it to the audience in a better way. Do what people like more. Climate vote, aka, I don't care about that shit. It's garbage. As soon as I know I saw that Joe Manchin signed off on it, I really don't care. I saw that, Bernie Sanders called it the so-called Inflation Reduction Act, which I appreciate. I love the use of the term so-called. I use that very often. Today's show, much to Zero PE's dismay, who's not here at the moment, but they keep telling me to do longer shows, and yet you don't even fucking show up. Come on now. I know you're going to watch the replay, so leave your comment. But this is not going to be that long of a show. I don't want to talk too much, because I have this, like, weird mouth thing going on. Like, look at this. Huh? Like, it's healing. It's a lot better than it was yesterday, but it's still, you know, it's a little sore. So, everyone's mad at Bernie but me. It's like those t-shirts you get in middle school, everyone's stupid but me. Everyone hates Bernie but me. Is the weird thing in the soft tissue? I guess. I don't know, I think I cut the back of my gums or something with like a nut. I've been eating a lot of nuts lately, you know, I've been eating lots of nuts lately, so I think I cut it up and then like, I don't know what happened, but I don't know what an abscess is. It sounds scary, so I don't think I have an abscess. What is an abscess? I guess it could be an abscess. It's a tumor? Ah. Brooke Holloway, 199. Folks, I would like to remind everyone, we got the revamped tip jar. Whoa, that's right. If you would like to see me put money in a jar, give me money today. Is it lupus? I have to go to the dentist. Unless people want to give me like several $1,000s, I'm not going to the dentist. I think it's fine. Yes, I was taking pictures of it, and over time, and like, it is healing, so, I think I'm fine. Once again, I haven't been to a dentist since I was 9 years old. Huh? What's this show all about? I don't know. Warm salt water? Maybe. It's possible. This show is about your sexy A space S space S space. I don't think I've ever done a show about my sexy ass. It's usually sitting in a chair, but I appreciate the thoughts nonetheless. I'll try the salt water, thank you. It's not a tooth thing, it's like the back of my gums. My teeth are fine. It's like the back of my gums. I've been eating a lot of nuts recently, and I noticed that when I eat nuts without paying attention, it hurts sometimes, so I think that's what happened. Anyway, enough about my fucking gums. What kind of nuts? Walnuts, pecans, sunflower kernels. Those are kind of, you bite on them wrong, they're kind of fucked up seeds, you know. I don't floss every day, no. I've got Morton salt. Should I use Morton salt? They're soft nuts, but if you bite on them, you know, in the wrong way, they fuck your mouth up. Like, usually the roof of my mouth. I put them in salads, right? So I'll go like, ah, right? Goddamn Morton salt. Like, I know y'all are doing this whole thing with nuts in my mouth, but nuts are actually, like, a very nutritious thing. To my understanding, from what I gather, also, cum is very nutritious as well. So, like, in both senses, you know, consuming copious amounts of nuts or nut, depending on, you know, what the grammar would apply there. Very good. Lysine-arginine ratio. Remind me to do that later. You never had nuts in your mouth? I recommend it. I think it's a worthwhile human experience, in my opinion. Anyway, now that I've successfully, done something to the chat, I don't quite know what I've done. Let's keep on keeping on. Folks, the orange man. The orange man. He's orange. And according to reports, he's a man. Donald Trump hints at 2024 White House comeback bid. Quote, "The time is coming." This is from the New York Post. Former President Donald Trump strongly indicated he is preparing to run for president. How many times are we going to read these articles? Like, the only reason I cover this is because I usually get, like, weirdo wackos in the comment section that go, like, "Ah, orange man, yay!" Right? Like, so it's just, but whatever. Like, I feel like I've read, like, 18 of these articles in the last, like, 6 years. Or 6 months, I mean. Like, Jesus Christ. Oh, he's getting ready to run. He's going to run. Will he run? He's going to run. He's going to run. Will he run? I think he's going to run. He's going to announce it. He's going to announce it soon. He's going to announce it right now. The time is coming. He's going to run. He's going to run. It's the orange man. Trump has repeatedly said that he's made a decision on the 2024 race. Was asked by Fox News Digital at CPAC in Texas when Republicans could expect a formal announcement. "It's certainly not a very long period. The time is coming," said the former president. "I think people are going to be very happy. Our country has never been in a position like this. We've lost everything." Trump said that America was facing both blah, 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 blah. "Our country has never been at a worse point. They gave away $85 billion worth of equipment. Dead soldiers. You still have Americans over there, probably as hostages, eventually will be hostages. There has never been a time like this." I love how he has, like his scripts, right? There's never been a time like this. He's been saying that for, like, fucking 10 years. There's never been a time like this. It's never happened. It's never happened. But there's always a new thing that it's never been. "We'll be making an announcement in the not-too-distant future." It was announced a couple weeks... Look at this fucking image, by the way. Jesus Christ. Jesus. I can't with this. It was previously reported that he would probably announce sometime in the fall. Of course, fall is coming in September, so we'll see. I think Donald Trump running... I personally... I'm very afraid. I don't know. My analysis is kind of uncertain because the Republican nominee, would it be like Ron DeSantis, Donald Trump, who knows, right? Like, I feel like what really depends on how 2024's election is going to go is what happens with Democrats, right? Because if Joe Biden is up there, we're fucked, right? But it's someone else, it depends, right? If it's Kamala Harris, I think we're fucked. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like the Republican primary is going to be fun entertainment, for sure. I'm going to cover the shit out of it. It's going to be really fun. But, like, the real, like, kind of bellwether, like, to look at on whether or not our democracy, I know, democracy, so-called, right? Whether or not this country is going to remain a country that's not necessarily an outright Christian fascist dictatorship, right? I think that's going to ultimately depend on two things. Who runs in the Democratic primary, and if there is one, and whether or not the Supreme Court does anything about this so-called independent state legislature theory. These are the two big question marks right now. I think Trump running in 2024 is really not that important. But either way, I'm going to talk about it a little bit, Get that ad revenue, you know what I mean? Uh-oh. Give me a vibe check. Vibe check, please. Come on now. Where's that vibe check? Fill out the fucking survey. Fill out the fucking survey. England is absolutely worse. Don't go to England. If you're gonna move somewhere, I recommend New Zealand. Having done research into where to go as a refugee that also speaks English, I would recommend New Zealand. I mean, there probably could be a better alternative, I'm sure, but New Zealand is what I've got on my mind. If I were to ever flee the United States, I would probably go to New Zealand. Hello, Adarin. I've never seen Lord of the Rings. I mean, my thing is if I'm going to move somewhere, I want to be able to speak the language, right? So for me, that means it's got to be an English-speaking location. Australia kind of sucks. New Zealand is like Australia, but better, in my understanding. So, like, if learning another language was something I'd be willing to do when fleeing, I would learn Spanish and probably move to South America. But I've been planning on learning Spanish for a while. I want to learn Spanish mostly so that I can come up with extra like alliterations in my titles. Are you talking to me, Environmental Coffee House? I love the environment. All right, let's keep going. Anti-Ukraine leftists are driving me nuts. I really like. It is quite honestly hilarious. I don't really understand why someone would be, or to claim to be, left-wing and support the imperial invasion of another sovereign country. Like, to me, it's just weird. Like, we could talk, yes, Ukraine has problems, but it's like the same shit that people are like, oh, what do you love Saddam Hussein? Huh? Saddam Hussein, he's a bad guy. Well, no shit, he's a bad guy. That doesn't mean we should invade fucking Iraq and occupy the country for 20 years. Oh, what do you hate Saddam Hussein, huh? Or, like, you know, it's just, or you, like, do you love him or whatever? You know, like, oh, you support Ukraine's right to exist? Well, don't you know Nazis are in Ukraine? Don't you know that? What, do you support Nazis? And it's the same shit that they do with Palestine. It's like, oh, don't you know Hamas killed someone in Israel? Oh, don't you know that? That doesn't fucking matter. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, okay? But anyway, these people are fucking stupid. Fucking stupid motherfuckers. Stupid fucking motherfuckers. Like, per capita, there are more neo-Nazis in the United States and in Russia combined than Ukraine. Also, not only is it per capita, but also, again, USA and Russia has got a larger population. So, if we want to talk about denazification, right? I don't know, man. Stupid motherfuckers. Where's Max the dog? Maxie, where are you? Max! Max! Hi. Yeah, the whole, like, Zelensky being Jewish thing, I don't really care about that. Like, Israel has a Jewish prime minister, and yet I would consider Israel to be a Nazi state. It's an apartheid, Nazi, like, Holocaust-committing, genocidal, maniac fucking regime. And they're Jewish, right? So I don't really consider the whole, oh, Zelensky's Jewish. I don't care about that. Like, that to me is not a point in any column. But, like, still... Hello, Daro? Fill out the fucking survey, folks. Fill out the motherfucking survey. Next week, I guess this week, I'm planning on getting some interviews on the show. There may or may not be an eighth show week. So, you know, just, you know, I don't do guests often, but I also love drama, so there may be a dramatic showcase this week, and there should be a non-dramatic guest appearance this week. But just, you know, it's gonna be great. That's all I can say. So right now the tentative dates are Tuesday and Wednesday. Theoretically, I'm in talks with 3 people, 2 of which are gonna come on my show to debate, 1 of which will just come on and we'll do a regular interview slot. But just, you know, prepare for that. That's all I can say. But the debate might be an evening debate, because it's really hard to schedule 2 people to come on at 10:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? So I might do an 8th show as a result. So there may be 8 shows this week. And it should be fun. I would love to get the Progressive Voice on my show, but I do not know the Progressive Voice. I watch his videos sometimes, but I've never spoken to them. Eight days a week, motherfucker. Unlike a lot of Americans and citizens of the UK, we have a new epidemic, folks. A new epidemic? Oof. Quiet quitting. Why doing the bare minimum at work has gone global? The meaninglessness of modern work and the pandemic has led many to question their approach to their jobs. Now, I am someone that's never had, like, a corporate job. The only jobs I've ever had have been, like, you know, just random shit under the table, helping people in my community, like, you know, that kind of stuff. So I've never actually filled out, like, a fucking W-2 or whatever the fuck that shit is. So I don't have much experience here, but what I can say is I love this. I love the idea of people doing the bare minimum. Work is not your life. If you let work define you, your life is over before it even began. And I cite throughout history, the mass amounts of people that hit retirement age, right? Like, there are people that retire, and then they spend like a year, maybe 2 years retiring, in retirement, and then they get another job because they have nothing to do. They spent 40 years working, 50 years working, never developed any hobbies, right? They don't have really that, they lost touch with all their friend groups, right? They retire and they're like, oh shit, finally I retired. They get bored, they have nothing to do because work was their whole life. Work is prison. Work is prison. You should not want to put any extra effort into work unless, you're someone that works for yourself. You work in a creative your work is like you write books or whatever, you draw or you create art, or you're a producer on a film, or you're a fucking, whatever, that kind of shit, right? That's the kind of work that we need to be striving for. If you're working it with McDonald's, come on now, be as slow as possible, right? Just annoy the shit out of your boss as much as you can without getting fired. If you're working at a stupid fucking call center, Jesus Christ, right? Don't put any extra time and effort into that. If you're working in an area, in a field that you actually like, that's fine, right? But most people, they work in what we call bullshit jobs that shouldn't even exist in the first place and certainly aren't fulfilling. So anyway, let's read this. This is from The Guardian. Bartleby is back, although no doubt he would prefer not to be. I don't know this reference because I'm an American. This time, Herman Melville Reductant has returned in the form of TikTokers who have embraced quiet quitting. Rather than working late on a Friday evening, organizing the annual team building trip to SLO, or volunteering to supervise the boss's teenager on work experience. The quiet quitters are avoiding the above and beyond, the hustle culture mentality, or what psychologists call occupational citizenship behaviors. Instead, they're doing just enough at the office to keep up, then leaving work on time and muting Slack, then posting about it on social media. Once again, if anybody calls you when you're not on the clock, do not answer the phone. Don't decline the call. Just let it ring. Sorry, I was sleeping. Sorry, my phone was in the other room. Sorry, don't call them back. If your boss is calling you, right, it should be like a payphone, right? You must give me like at least 50 cents for me to pick up the phone, and then an additional 25 cents per 30 seconds, per 10 seconds that I'm on the phone with you. Then maybe I'll consider answering the fucking phone. Reel on N. 14 czars. 14 czars, everybody. We got 14 czars. That equivalent to $10. Thank you, Relon, for the money in the tip jar. Yay! Maria Kordowicz, an associate professor in organizational behavior at the University of Nottingham and director of its Centre for Interprofessional Education and Learning, said the rise in quiet quitting is linked to a noticeable fall in job satisfaction. Gallup's Global Workplace Report for 2022 showed, now this is interesting, only 9% of workers in the UK were engaged or enthusiastic about their work, ranking 33rd out of 38 European countries. Now again, this is The Guardian, this is UK-centric, but there's a lot of overlap. 9% of people that have a job care about their job. That's crazy. That's so low. Since the pandemic, people's relationship with work has been studied in many ways, and the literature typically across the professions would argue that yes, people's way of relating to their work has changed. TikTok posts about quiet quitting have been inspired by Chinese social media. Hashtag Tang Ping, or lying flat, is a now censored hashtag, apparently prompted by China's shrinking workforce and long hours culture. Kordowicz added, the search for meaning has become far more apparent. Now again, I just want to say, I would treat work like I would treat school. It's a prison. You are mandated by capitalism to be there for that period of time. It's a prison. You are being enslaved for that period of time in order to live. Why do you go to work? So you can pay rent. Why do you want to pay rent? So you have a house to live under? What else do you use your money for? To buy food. Why do you need to buy food? So that you can live. I don't know, man. Sounds a little weird to me, right? So why should people enjoy work? Especially if it's a meaningless bullshit fucking job. So, I don't know, you can read the rest of this, but I just wanted to talk about this for a little bit. This article just goes in specific examples of people on TikTok or whatever. I don't really care about TikTok. But again, if you work in a field that you genuinely love, that's great. I'm happy for you. But most people don't. Right? And most people, I would say, they can get by. You know what? Don't be thinking about work. As soon as you close that car door in the parking lot or wherever you're working at, right? And as soon as you like put that key in the ignition and you start driving home, fuck work. You're not on the clock. Stop fucking thinking about it. That's my opinion. People need to be focusing on themselves. Get a hobby, right? You know, find a new friend group. Watch a couple movies. Catch up on a TV show you love. Play a couple video games, right? Do something that actually makes you happy. Do something that you can do when you're retired and there is no work anymore. Don't be one of those weirdos that's like, I'm going to retire and I'm going to go on a fishing trip and I'm going to live life. And then fucking 8 months later, they're applying to work at Applebee's at the ripe old age of 68 because they don't know what the fuck else to do with their lives because they spent 45 years developing nothing, right? Don't be like that person. Fuck your job. Your job sucks. As far as I'm concerned, it's a prison sentence to go to work, especially for in the United States. I know this is a UK-centric article, but especially in the United States, people working minimum wage, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit, okay? Jesus Christ. If you're working minimum wage, your job sucks. Your job sucks, right? Your job fucking sucks, okay? And I don't care what the fucking job is. If you are working minimum wage in the US of A, you should not put any extra effort into that shit. My God. Anyway, there you go. Fuck work. Yeah, where are the introverts at? School trains you for waking up early. Now, I disagree with that framing. School trains you to be somewhere at a specific time. I think waking up early, now I know some people are nocturnal and that's fine, and you know they function that way. Personally, I think waking up early is a good thing. I think having a consistent sleep schedule is a good thing. The bad part is having to be somewhere at a specific time, right? Waking up at 6 a.m. every day and then reading a book, making a nice long breakfast, listening to that hot new album that just came out while you're fucking, you know, cooking up some fucking potatoes in a skillet. That's what you want to be doing at 7:30 a.m. You don't want to be like one of those weirdos with that coffee cup, you know, with the briefcase, with their fucking untied fucking, you know, tie or whatever, and they're just like, and they're like, you know, power walking into the building. You don't want to be that motherfucker, okay? Get up early, enjoy your day. Last time I took the personality test, I was an INFP. So, I don't know what that means though. And I've taken the personality test like 3 times in my life, and each time it's given me a different result. And the last time I took it was like 3 years ago. So, as far as I'm concerned, I don't really know about it. Yeah, I might be INFJ. I love to judge people. Yeah? You see that guy? That guy's a motherfucker. I love to judge people. It's like horoscope for atheists. Yeah, that's the vibe I get. Whoa, holy shit. I almost spilled this coffee all over myself. Let me do that instant replay. I want to watch that. That's the vibe I get. Okay, there's the coffee. Whoa, whoa! I almost spilled this coffee all over myself. Instant replay. That was crazy. Anyway, let's drink some coffee. Woo! Alright, y'all, I got one more news story. And then I'm going to get into a movie review. And then maybe we'll Q-cock it up. So, you know, bear with me. I love your finger names. Finger names? I've already cracked one of these off. Look at that. You see that shit? What a world that we live in. But yeah, I really like this color. This is the first time I've used this color. It's really good. Alright. Folks, I talk a lot about real issues plaguing Americans' lives on the daily, and I also talk a lot about food on my show. But this is a story that really I think everyone in America should be discussing. I really think this is the biggest story that we have faced as a species, not just as a country, as a species. And that is, of course, Cracker Barrel has gone woke. That's right, everybody. Cracker Barrel, famous for being, well, I mean, it's in the name. I don't know what else to say. They've gone woke. It's happened. Quote, "Congratulations on being woke. Cracker Barrel customers irate over adding plant-based sausage to menu." Now, they're not removing anything. They're not removing the meat and replacing all the meat with plant-based, like Impossible patties. They're just adding a new option. Everything else is the same. The menu has an additional little bold text, and that's it. And now they're woke. Cracker Barrel just announced it is hopping on the meatless meat bandwagon, and regular customers are not happy. In a post to its Facebook account, the iconic American diner announced it will begin carrying Impossible sausages, a meatless breakfast patty made from plants. The option is now available on the restaurant's build-your-own breakfast menu, and needless to say, the responses did not meet the restaurant's enthusiasm for plant-based products. Quote, "You just lost the customer base. Congratulations on being woke and going broke," commented one user. Now, again, I just want to be very honest with and upfront. The people in the, like, you know, the people that say these kinds of things, these are not human beings. Now, this is a point in favor of simulation theory. We were talking about simulation theory in the show earlier. This is a point in favor of, if you ask me why I believe that simulation theory is real, I would answer that with one simple answer. Republican voters. There's no way that these are human beings. There's no way. I refuse to believe that these are anything but, like, someone who is, like, working, like, 18-hour shifts on, like, you know, the newest Elder Scrolls game, like, and their job is, like, pumping out random NPC dialogue. There is no way that these are real people. Like, there's no way that you're telling me, right, like, someone in their 40s or 50s is going on Facebook, right, and, like, so they sit down at their computer, right, "You just lost a customer base, you're going woke and broke," and then they get up off of their computer, and then, like, they go interact with their family, and they, like, call their fucking, their daughter and talk on the phone. There's no way that these are human beings. You cannot convince me. You cannot convince me that this is a human being. I refuse. So this is a point in favor of simulation theory. "Don't you ever try to push that crap in my direction. Stick to the basics that made your franchise a success." First of all, crap is a swear word now. We need to censor crap. I don't know if that's the print outlet doing that. This is Fox9.com. I don't know if it's Fox9.com censoring crap or if it's the user. When the fuck did crap become a fucking swear word? When I was a kid, crap was the word you say when you meant to say shit, but you couldn't say shit because shit was a fucking swear word, so you say crap instead. Who the fuck censors crap? Jesus Christ. Crap! My God. Quote, "Are you kidding me?" Actually, that's... "Are you kidding me? Who do you think your customer base is? I stole your order the double meat breakfast and it's not even on the menu anymore." Now, first of all, that's a lie. It is on the menu. But, like, right? Right? Who cares? "I want to eat vegetables I can recognize," wrote someone else on Facebook. Yet you eat ground beef. You eat sausage. Wait, so, okay, the vegetable has to be a whole vegetable, right? The meat, like, this same principle being applied to meat would mean you only eat, like, fucking pork chops and steak or something, or chicken legs. How can someone sit there and say that they'll eat bacon and sausage, but they won't eat Impossible sausage because it doesn't look like a vegetable? My friend, you are eating, like you're eating hot dogs. Hot dogs! And you're gonna shit on Impossible Burgers because I don't love eating meat. My God! My God, we got a dumb motherfucker here.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
Stupid ass fuckface bitches, man. Quote, I gotta do the type. I just lost respect for once great Tennessee company. Why? Why? Like, talk about getting fucking triggered. Talk about getting motherfucking triggered. Holy shit. The post garnered hundreds of more negative comments in which people decried the possibility that woke vegetarian options would be... Jesus Christ. Anyway, so this is what the right's doing. Eating vegetables is woke. And we wonder, in this country, why 95% of Americans don't eat fiber. What is fiber? Fiber's vegetables. Look it up. 95% of Americans do not reach the minimum daily recommended intake of fiber. 95%. They don't reach the minimum. 5% of Americans eat the proper amounts of vegetables on a daily basis. 5%. 93% of Americans are cardio-metabolically unhealthy. Their metabolism is slow, right? Their bodies are failing, right? They're storing excess fat, presumably around their organs, right? They're developing, problems that lead to diabetes. Why? That means 7% of Americans, right, are actually metabolically healthy. 7%. And we wonder how those numbers get that way. And then we look at stuff like this. And we're like, oh, right. Americans are fucking stupid. Americans are fucking stupid. Americans are fucking stupid. So, there you go. Cracker Barrel's going woke. And they're going broke. You go woke and you go broke. My God. Again, simulation theory. Point in favor of simulation theory. Could I react to Cemetery? He makes good points. I don't know who Cemetery is. Alright, y'all, so I'm going to do a movie review. And then I'm good to go. Alright. So yesterday, I was consuming some medical marijuana and decided, you know what? I'm going to watch a movie. And I watched a movie I've never seen before. The Terminator. So this movie, I'm not going to lie. This movie was incredible. I was so into this movie, man. Holy shit. Now again, I took a week off of weed. I know. Daring, am I? Right, and I consumed some medical marijuana because my fucking gums hurt. And, so I was like, alright, let's watch The Terminator. So I watched The Terminator. Holy shit, this movie is amazing. I mean, like, front to back, the full fucking thing. The first fucking scene to the last scene, it's all perfect. It's great. It's got that perfect amount of, like, 80s cheese, right? It's got Arnold Schwarzenegger's flopping cock, folks. I need you to understand this. Arnold, I don't know if it's like there was like a fake cock, but we saw Arnold's floppy cock in the first 10 minutes of this movie. We saw Arnold's floppy cock. I was in. From that moment, I was in. And so I just want to say the music in this movie, incredible. It was like so good. It was like maximizing like the fucking synthesizers, right? It was like fucking sounded a lot like fucking Doom MIDI music, right? It was just really fucking good. The car chases and it's like the music's so loud. Oh, this is a great fucking movie. This is a great fucking movie. I mean, oh my god, and the plot too, right? Like the Terminator, the time travel, like the future's fucked up, right? It was great. It was the plot line. I love it. Time travel worked great. All of it was fucking amazing, right? The main character, Sarah Connor, amazing. Now, I'm aware that this movie has sequels, and some of them say that the second movie is better than the first movie. I don't know how that's possible. Honestly, watching this movie, I love this movie. I don't know how they could possibly make a sequel any better, but I'm looking forward to it, okay? But damn, this movie was so fucking good. It really was incredible to watch. Now, again, I would be remiss if I reviewed this movie without discussing the scene where the Terminator literally murders an entire police station like it's a Grand Theft Auto game. Holy fuck. Man, that Terminator goes into the police station, I'll be back, and then drives the car in there and starts killing all the cops. I was like, whoa, the Terminator's killing cops. I thought the Terminator was supposed to be the bad guy. Now you're showing me this. It's hard. What do I do with this information, right? But anyway, holy moly, this movie was great. It was so good. The music was amazing. The acting was so cheesy, but the good kind of cheesy. Like the other main character, Kyle Reese, he's like, when they're in the police station, they all call him crazy, but he plays the crazy role so well. I'm from the future! And he's all sweaty and he's freaking out. I loved it. Okay? It was wonderful. A wonderful movie. A wonderful fucking movie. Wow. I mean, I was impressed. I'm not gonna lie. I was impressed. Damn. I've been watching some 80s movies recently. I watched Ghostbusters for the first time the other day, too. So I'm trying to get into the 80s zone right now. And damn. So I might watch Terminator 2 soon. But, like, holy moly. This movie was so fucking fun. It was so fucking fun. It really was. Wow. Like, it's just nothing but praise. Like, every scene... This scene where it's like the cops are like, you'll be safe in the nightclub. And then the motherfucker starts shooting people in the nightclub. When Arnold Schwarzenegger was just shooting his Uzi into the crowd in the nightclub. Holy moly. Great movie. Great movie. And again, Arnold's floppy cock in the first 10 minutes. Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay. That's the thing. I don't know if Terminator 2 has Arnold's floppy cock in it. But that's a huge point in favor of Terminator 1. Now, I haven't seen Terminator 2 yet, but, you know, don't spoil it. But goddamn, it's going to be hard to top this movie. I mean, Jesus Christ. What a movie. I mean, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Like, the time travel element was cool, right? The characters are cool, right? And then the thing I like about this movie is it sets up a world. You know what I mean? I love that. I love movies that are kind of like, they're standalone, but they set up a world, right? The movie, like, almost always takes place in 1984. But it's got, like, a couple of flash forwards because Kyle's talking about the future or whatever, right? So it sets up a world where, like, Sarah Connor's got a kid or whatever, and that kid's super cool, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, but it is self-contained. Like, you don't need to watch any additional... You know, there's no additional context required. It doesn't really end on a cliffhanger. It's all great. It's just a great movie. This is great, okay? Good fucking movie. Damn. I was in. I don't know. Can I say Arnold Schwarzenegger's floppy cock again? Because Arnold Schwarzenegger's floppy cock. Holy shit. What a movie. I'm out of coffee. I don't know who the actress's name was who played Sarah Connor. Because I'm stupid. I like other worlds because I want to leave this one. Well, I agree with that sentiment. As well as sediment. Linda Hamilton. Excellent. Alright, y'all. Fill out the fucking survey. Let me post it one more time, because apparently pinned chat messages don't work for you fucking cretins. But yeah, thank you for watching. I appreciate people for showing up. Once again, I'd like to say I have begun streaming on Twitch as a side hobby. And I've decided I've decided that I'm going to use twitch.tv to do impromptu programs. So if you want to follow me, I don't know when I'm going to stream. I'm not going to promise that I'll stream at any point. But it'll just be randomly. Whenever I feel like it, I'll pop on here and I'll play a video game. Of course, you can show up and ask me any questions you want. You can talk about news if you'd like. I have no chat restrictions. Show up, follow, all that good stuff. Reminder, once again, yesterday, I got the world record for Gubble. Well, I will play a little sample here. I was drunk the other day, but that was a good drunk streak. You might be thinking, whoa, this music sounds familiar. That's right, it sounds familiar. That's right. That's right. Thank you for watching.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it, and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick, because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup for my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people.
Read the polls, Jack. You guys are all the same.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.